Hello everybody, AJ Ryzik here, and today we are taking a look at Cherrytree. Now if you're not familiar with Cherrytree, it is a note-taking application available both in Linux and also on Windows. Now, a lot of note-taking applications out there are essentially the electronic version of either a notebook or post-it notes. Cherrytree, totally different. It is a hierarchical note-taking application, so you can have many levels of notes. Everything is stored in one file, and you got all kinds of options and just all kinds of stuff that you can do with this note-taking application. Now, kind of a little bit of background on why I got interested in it. For all these YouTube videos, I always do notes. Sometimes I even do like a full script for the video, but at the very least I make notes so that I've got a list of all the points that I want to cover, important facts, that sort of thing. So I had been using Evernote for quite a long time, and Evernote did a good job, but I was hoping to get to get away from proprietary software, get to an open source solution. Now, I don't have a problem using proprietary software if there are no other options available. However, I would rather use open source. So I started investigating different note-taking applications, and Cherrytree seemed to have the features that I want, and like I said, lots of options, and at least for right now, this is what I'm using for keeping my notes on all the YouTube videos. So let's start out by taking a look at the Cherrytree website. I'm going to go and open it up on Firefox here, and as you can see under their description, it says a hierarchical note-taking application featuring rich text and syntax highlighting, storing data in a single XML or SQLite file. Let's see the variety of languages it is available in. Got some screenshots here, and then talks a bit about the different features available. And they have a wish list of either things that are in progress or that it's a wish list, things that we'd like to see get added to it. So you can see a wish list is quite pretty long there. And you've got instructions on how to get the source code, packages on various distributions and whatnot. And I'm on Solus, and it is in the repositories. I'm pretty sure, well, in fact, I know that it is available in the Ubuntu and Debian files, and probably a big majority of the distributions out there, they're going to have it in the repository. So getting a hold of it is not going to be much of a problem. Of course, if you are running Windows, I don't even let me go there. But if you are running Windows, it is available. You can download a Windows executable file and do the installation that way. So getting a hold of Cherrytree, not a problem. There's also very good help manual. You can, and they've got links to it here. They've got both an online version and then a Cherrytree file that you can download. Now, the nice thing with having the Cherrytree file, if you go and download it and save it on your home folder or wherever, you can go and pull it up even if you don't have the internet access. And sometimes when I'm out and about, I've got my laptop and I do not have internet access. It is nice to, how do I do such and such? Oh, let me just pull up the Cherrytree instruction manual and I can look it up. So, and it's pretty detailed instructions and tutorials. So, I highly recommend taking a look at it if you're going to use this program. Well, let's move on. We will take a look at Cherrytree itself now. Let me open it up here. And the file that I have open, it's the file that I'm using to organize all of my notes for the YouTube videos. Now, Cherrytree creates what they call nodes, which is going to be your main page, your main category, however you want to look at it, and then you can have subnodes that in the hierarchy are organized underneath that particular node, and you can actually have subnodes of subnodes of subnodes, continue on and so forth. I didn't have to go that far with my notes, but you kind of get the general idea here. You can see right now I'm clicked on my full length or series videos, and any of these where you see green, I have linked it to the subnode, which is the notes for that particular subject. And by clicking on the arrow there, it allows you to see all those subnodes. And from over here, you could go and click on one of these over here to go to the subnode. But like I said, I have created links over here so you could go to that particular node. And you can set up sections of text or pages as checklists, which is what I have done for the main node page, showing the list of the video. So when I complete the video, I can go click on it. It's just a quick reference for me. I can look at it. Oh yeah, I finished that video. I finished that one. I never got to that one. And you can see right here, I crossed a couple of these out where I was planning on doing a video there, and just ended up not getting to it because of time or whatever. So anyway, that kind of gives you an idea of the nodes, the subnodes, that sort of thing. As far as like your text features, it is rich text, so that you do have, you can do italics, you can do bold, you can do underline, strike through, H1, H2, H3 tags, all that sort of things. So plenty of options as far as being able to make different things stick out, stand out, make them bold, all that kind of stuff. Tell you what, to take a look at some of the different features they've got here, it's probably easiest if we could just go and scroll through some of the menus here. Under edit, you can see that once you've got a node going here, you can go and you can insert images, tables, code boxes. Code box is nice for you programmers out there that you want to make sure that your code is preserved, doesn't get screwed up by fancy quotes, extra spaces, all that kind of stuff. Inserting files, inserting links. Insert anchor is pretty interesting. What the insert anchor allows you to do, you can link say one node to another node, or one node to another subnode, or subnode to subnode. And not only, when you put an anchor in, not only will it go to that particular node, it'll go to a particular point on that particular node. So it may be, 3/4 of the way down the page, you can set up an anchor so that it will go to that particular point. So it's something that I use that a couple of times on setting these notes up. Works really nice. I really like the feature. Then you got some, cut, copy, delete row, duplicate, move up, move down. Some kind of basic kind of stuff there. Same thing when you move over to formatting here. We already talked about you got bold, italics, underlining, strike through, H properties, that sort of thing. Setting up bullets, numbered, set up the to-do list, justification, that sort of thing. One thing I did, where is it going to be? Importing and exporting stuff into Cherrytree. Kind of interesting there. Let's see, if we come over here to import, you can see you can import stuff from all kinds of different places. You can come from Cherrytree, plain text files, HTML files, from basket notes, G notes, keep note, keynote, Know-It file, Leo, Red Notebook, Tomboy, just tons of different applications where you can import from. Export, you got a couple of options for exporting. You can export to a PDF, export to HTML, multiple plain text files, single plain text file, or export it to another Cherrytree document. Now, the one thing I will say about the PDF, one thing that kind of disappointed me was that if you have links in your Cherrytree file, you will not; those links will not be preserved when you create the PDF. So, like here, if you go to my Cherrytree notes, up at the top, I've got the link to their web page, and if you click on that, boom, it takes you, opens up Firefox, goes to their web page. Unfortunately, if you save as an HTML, it does not preserve those links, so that is kind of a bummer there. But I'm hoping that that's a feature that eventually comes down the pike. Now, one feature that a lot of people use in Evernote is the web clipping. A very popular feature. You can be out on the web. There's an extension for Firefox, for Chrome, basically all the browsers out there, where it will allow you to go, and if you're on a particular web page, you want to put that web page in your Evernote notebook, you go and click that button, it sends it right to there. Well, you don't have that option with Cherrytree. There are some workarounds. One, you could just go and copy and paste text, images, that sort of thing. So there's that option. You could also go and save a particular web page as HTML, import that directly into Cherrytree. We already saw under import that you can import HTML files, so you could go that route. Another one, and this is really the one that I like if I want to bring a web page into Cherrytree, is to create a PDF and then import that PDF, and which you don't necessarily import it, more like you're pasting it in there. But anyway, so I'll tell you what, let's open up Firefox. There we go, and we'll go back to the Cherrytree web page. So there's a variety of different extensions. Like I said, the one that I added to Firefox, it's called Page to PDF. So it adds this little button right here. You can just click on it. You get some options there for scaling, margin size, landscape, or or standard letter size, A4, whatever you want to do. Whether you want to include the title, URL, page number, you just go click Save as PDF. Where do you want to save it? We'll save it to the Downloads folder. Save. And actually, I've already done this, but I'll overwrite it. We'll replace it. And so it saves that PDF to your computer. So let's go back to Cherrytree. And here's my notes on Cherrytree. Just scroll around. Where do we want to put it? Here, we'll put it in here. And we'll do an insert file. Go to my downloads, open, and it's put in there. So now when I double click on that, and it popped up in my other monitor, so let me drag it over here. So now when I double click on that, it will open in my PDF viewer that page. The nice thing about doing it in PDFs is, as long as your bump the mic there, as long as the PDF viewer that you're using is capable of editing the PDFs, you can go and do highlighting and add notes and all that kind of stuff. So it does give you some other options when you're importing stuff directly into Cherrytree. So features that I would like to see that we don't have available, and there's a couple. and they're not really that big a deal, but they would be nice additions, I guess you could say. One would be to open multiple Cherrytree files and have it available as tabs. I think that would be very useful. Another would be that when I have say my Cherrytree file open here, if I wanted to go and open a subnode in another window, I would love to be able to do that. And then also for importing, I would love the ability to go and import the entire web page, do the whole PDF thing that I just did using Firefox. I would love like a more streamlined method to do that, and then have that PDF open with inside of Cherrytree, and so that I would be able to work with it right in there. But those are, I mean, they're really not that big a deal. They would make it more convenient for the way that I'm using Cherrytree. Now, as far as issues, things have been running great. The only thing that I have run into has been a couple of times where I've had saving issues, and it has been where I've been using Cherrytree on my desktop. I saved the file to Dropbox, and then I open the file on another computer, and then when I try to save, for whatever reason, it will not save that file. I get an error message. Now I can go and do a save as, save it under a different name, and no issues there, it saves. But I really don't like having to have a workaround. I've run into this issue a few times. I was looking around on message boards online, and a few other people ran into the same thing. Really haven't found a solution other than a few people suggested the same workaround that I'm doing, and that is doing the save as. But other than that one little thing, I mean, everything else has been working flawless. There's been no crashes or anything like that. All the features have worked the way that they were supposed to. So from that standpoint, everything's been working great. Now, kind of the next question, am I going to continue using this for all my notes? And the short answer is, for the time being, yes. Long term, I don't know, just because I wanted to explore all the options that are out there. I found Cherrytree and liked it, but I didn't want to stop looking at what are the other options. So and some of the options that I played around with that just they didn't work out for me were Tomboy Notes, G Note. They were too simplistic for what I was using. The Red Notebook, that thing didn't work out for me. ZimWiki, it appeared to, I thought it had potential, but I never could get it to function the way that I wanted it to function. And unfortunately for Zim, the documentation that's out there, it's not that great. So, I was doing something fairly simple wrong, and when I was trying to set up some of these pages, and like I said, for whatever reason, it just wasn't work. And there's probably a simple fix for what I was doing wrong, but there's just not the documentation out there so I can find what the problem is. So anyway, that one was kind of a no-go. The one that I am playing around with now that does show a lot of potential, and that is org mode on Emacs. And I tell you, a lot of, with org mode on Emacs, everything is stored in text files. So as long as you have access to those files, you can look at them with any text editors. No issues there. So you don't even have to have Emacs installed on your system to be able to read those files. So I like that. There's some good organizational stuff that's built in, calendars and checklists and that sort of thing. And that the fact that you can save it as text files, that's really appealing to me. So Still a little more time on working with it, and I'm sure that I'll be doing some videos on that. There's somewhat of a learning curve when you're using org mode on Emacs, much more so than Cherrytree. Cherrytree, I think, is very intuitive on how you do just about everything. Org mode, there's some learning to do there, but I'm thinking that once I learn, all those shortcuts, all those steps, that may actually end up being a better option for me. I don't know yet. I don't know if I want to take that amount of time to learn that software, but we'll just have to see how that works out. But Cherrytree, great option here for not only for what I'm doing, but I could see it for a student. You could go and for a particular subject, you could have a new node for each day that you're taking notes in, whatever class. Same thing for, business use. If it's the, manager's meeting notes, you can have a new node for each particular day. Put tags in there so it's easy to find the different things that you're looking for, or you can go and easily pull up the notes from such and such date. I can just see a whole lot of different scenarios where this note-taking application would really be useful. So if you're looking for something for taking notes and being able to keep those notes organized, definitely check this out. Highly recommended. And that being said, I think this is the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you got any questions, comments, all that kind of stuff, well, please leave that down below, and I'll try to get to it as soon as possible. Video requests, let me know what you'd like to see, and I will try to get to that. And thank you all, and I hope to see you all on the next video.